Hi folks, it's Irene from the Field Guide, and I'm here with a public service announcement. I'm at the Ashokan Reservoir. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. You know how I am about that. I absolutely loved it. Love to do the history part. Just basic stuff. And some personal observations of fun I've had up here when I was a kid. I haven't been up here in a long time. I'm trying to set the camera up so that you have the nicest view in the background. Personally, and again, like I'm going to say at the end of the video, I'm not as versed with these mountains as I am with the ones down my way. I mean, I could pull a map out and bore you to death and read names all day. That's the most beautiful that I can see right now. It's just because of the way the light's hitting it. Okay, so this is what I'm here for. I have been a woods, I guess you could call me a woods woman. I've been out in the woods my entire life. I grew up on the side of a mountain. And though back in the 60s and the late 70s, you didn't see animals in the woods because for at least a decade or more before that, everybody hunted everything back for survival purposes. And then in the 1970s, when the conservation laws came out and we started to become more strict with law enforcement and such, actually that started a little bit sooner. I believe that was just after World War II. We started to see more animals. In the 80s, we hardly saw anything. So anyhow, over the years, I've been a hunter. I've been in the woods my entire life. Love it, live it. It's something that's in my blood. I know a lot about it, and I'm always learning. Here's the thing about this year. The last 4 years, I have been working as a surveyor, which lands me in the woods, sometimes all day, during times when it's not very busy, and I'm literally living there in the woods, not overnight, but if I have projects to do, then I'm going to be out there for at least 6 hours. There have always been bear in this area. At one time they used to travel through. They used to come from the lower southern part of the Appalachian Mountains, and they would pass through, and you'd get the errant bear now and then, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, that the DEC would tranquilize, and they would move up closer to the Canadian border because that was their final destination. They were heading towards Hudson Bay area. About 20 years ago, New Jersey decided to stop bear hunting. We ended up getting a lot of bear in New York. All right, they're a native species, but it started to become a problem. It quieted down for a long, long time. We've been seeing a lot more bear in the area around where I live over, I would say, probably the past 5 to 6 years. Nothing to worry about. First encounter I have ever had was 1984, and I was hiking up off of US Route 9W and what is now the Palisades Interstate Park Commission hiking area up there. It was just nothing but a rough hunter's trail at the time. It was not like it is today, where the New York, New Jersey has made the trails very clear and they maintained them. And I was bushwhacking and I heard what sounded like a donkey. And my first thought was, well, it's a nice day. It was Labor Day. It was a nice day. A lot of people were at the beach across the river at Little Stony Point in the Cold Spring area, and I thought, well, maybe it's a boat hitting a tree or something, or rubbing up against, you know, the ground, going aground or something. No, it wasn't. I checked with the local forest manager, and he said that that is what a bear will do when it's warning you to get out of its area. It literally sounds like a donkey braying. So, you know, of course, that was my very first experience, and I ran like crazy. I ran so fast that I came up on a hill, and right in front of me was a red-tailed hawk on a branch. It scared the crap out of that poor guy. So that was a lesson learned, and now I know better. This season has started for my surveying and my projects out in the woods. So far, I've had a bear incident at the house, which I took care of. I took out the bird feeder and the suet. I won't be putting that back out until after Thanksgiving. I understand that the neighbors up the street are having some problems, but they're also admitting that they're keeping their bird seed out. You got to eliminate any kind of enticement. I go to do a project that's been ongoing. I have failed twice. because of an extremely large black bear who has a lot of gray in his fur. It's very interesting. So I don't know when I'm going to get back to that project. There's no time limit on it. I'll figure it out somehow. Saturday, I decided, since I had to leave the first one because of the bear, I went to a second project that was about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 miles north on the other side of the river. And I'm hiking up the trail and I'm doing my data, and you know, I have a little bell in my backpack. I have some pepper spray. I have a knife in my pocket. It's just a pocket knife, not much. I can't carry a gun because it's a state park. I talk to myself while I'm out there. The bell rings once in a while. I don't know if that's more like a dinner bell or what it is, but I'm not really thrilled with the whole bell idea. At least it lets them know that you're there, but you know, if they want to mess with you, they will. So I'm going along doing my thing, and I get on to almost the last part of my survey. I'm almost done, almost there, and what do you think I see running down the trail on a straightaway at me? 2 coyote. So I've got nothing really. I mean, the air horn, oh yeah, I use the air horn too. I don't think it does a whole lot. It might stop them for a few minutes and give you an extra chance to move in another direction, but there's no guarantee. And so what I did was I grabbed my knife and I just got ready. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was alone. There was nobody else out on the trail. I don't understand why, because the parking lot was pretty full on the way back out. So what was going on with these coyotes was that they weren't really interested in me. They were being run down by a doe white-tailed deer. And I believe what she was doing was she was throwing them off her fawn's scent trail. Or, well, no, actually fawns don't really have a whole lot of scent when they're first born. But I believe what she was doing was she was chasing them in the other direction. So these coyote and the doe ran across the trail in front of me, up to the left and up to the mountainside. I thought, okay, I only have to go like another 100 yards to finish this survey. So I figured, all right, let's get it done. I turn around 75 yards into my return journey. Here come the coyotes back down the trail again. I'm looking for the doe. She's not around. I have no idea what happened. Oh, they're down there weed whacking or something. I was wondering what that noise was. It sounded like a bug. So the only thing I could do was yell at them. This time I had my backpack off my shoulders because I had to put my clipboard back in. And I was able to get at least the air horn. That did get them to perk up and run off in the other direction. That's something. But here's the deal. I called the DEC. In Muncie, New York, and Rockland County, there's a nuisance bear that's causing a lot of problems for people. They actually have basically a quasi-hotline set up so that when you do call into the Wildlife Division, you can leave your name, number, and your address, because it sounds to me like they're doing a sting on this bear to try to figure out what's going on. All right, this may upset a lot of people, but you know what? Back in my day, the men just would have shot him, and that would have been the end of it. There wouldn't be all this, you know, let's see what happens, and, oh, well, we have to be careful. Look, I'm not making fun of anybody, but here's the deal. While I'm out on the trail, and I'm encountering these predators, they're a lot stronger than I am. I'm 5'5", I'm about 140 pounds. I can do my best, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to get out of it at all. The hikers that I encounter seem to have the attitude that these creatures, these wild animals, are more like Disney creatures or Disney characters, and they are not. They are unpredictable wild animals. And to kind of coin a phrase from the original Jaws movie, basically all they do is eat and make babies. And that is very, very true. They're all about survival. They're all about propagating the species. Years ago, I had a friend who was a seasoned hunter in Black Rock Forest. Early in the morning, he set out to sit with a tree to his back on White Horse Mountain in Black Rock Forest. And in the twilight of the morning, he notices one coyote over here and one coyote over here. He was being flanked. He shot both of them. When the DEC officers showed up, they didn't blame him and they didn't fine him, even though we didn't have any a special season, because at one point it went to 24/7, 365. There were so many coyotes around this area, around my area. I'm not so sure. I'm in the Catskills right now, so I'm not so sure what happened up here, this Ulster County. The DEC officers told him it was a good thing he did what he did, because he was probably going to be breakfast. They were in hunting mode. The 2 coyote that I saw on the trail on Saturday, they were also in hunting mode, and you couldn't miss it. But I wasn't their target prey. So, this is what I've had to do. I had to buy bear spray, and I'm not proud to admit it. I am not affiliated with this product. This is made in the USA, in Montana. This is 40 feet in 8 seconds. I get the feeling this is just gonna piss off a bear. It says Grizzly Tough Bear Spray. If I can get them in the eyes and I can turn around and go, the problem is their sense of smell and their sense of hearing is gonna take over, because they are superheroes of the animal world. Very strong animals. And this says it was developed by a grizzly bear in counter survival, and there's a story on the back. And they even give you some specifics for bears, size, and footprints. I don't like having to do this. Backpack strap, shoulder strap, so that I'm not reaching into my backpack in case something happens. Okay, so here's the deal. These encounters that I just recently had, all these back-to-back ones, they may be the only ones for the rest of the season. But in the meantime, once again, I still have a job to do. Again, in this world, it looks like the human takes a back seat. Yes, I have been in love with nature my entire life, okay? But don't call me crunchy granola or a tree hugger, because I know when it's time to be concerned and it's time to do something about the situation. The amount of bear and the amount of coyote that are out in the woods right now, and my experience on Saturday shows you exactly what's going on, what's going to happen to the deer population. It's going to be decimated, because black bears eat deer too, and they love to eat baby fawns, and that's a fact. I don't really know what else to say. All I can say is that do not treat these creatures like they're Disney characters. Do not treat them like they are as excited to see you as you are to see them, because they do not appreciate us, all right? We could be in their way. They may want to chase us off. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but these are wild animals, like I said in the beginning, and they are unpredictable. Oh, look at this. Check this out. We've got some storm activity up there. I'm just taking a break from the rhetoric. Look at that. That's going from west on your left-hand side, going to east, but it might be coming this way. So I don't see any lightning, but I think I'm going to wrap this up now. All right, so people, take it easy out there. Enjoy yourselves, but be careful. Bear and coyote in the wild are not like the neighborhood cats. They're not going to come up to you and rub against your leg and let you scratch the back of their head. They're out there to survive. That's what they're made to do. Be careful, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, all. This is the Ashokan Reservoir causeway. It's been closed since 9/11, but these are the original signs. Warning, active barrier, do not tailgate, your vehicle will be damaged because it's so narrow. Caution, stop at yellow line, wait for green light before proceeding forward. And now, it's been turned into a park, like everything else. This used to be a lot of fun when I had my 77 Corolla. It was a blast to drive it. When I went to high school, there was a fellow there whose family, amongst many others, had been kicked out to build this part of the New York City water system. There's the Ashokan, there's the Papacton, Cannonsville, which I had a house near. Look at that down there. Cannonsville, and the original, the Croton Reservoir in Westchester County. I am not as versed in mountains up here as I am down below, but I do know that that one there is Overlook Mountain. That's up where Woodstock is, and at the very top of the mountain is a Tibetan monastery. It's actually a pretty cool place. This was the most fun part of the road to drive because it was narrow and you had to be careful. So my idea was to get over it as quickly as possible. Let's look at the nice mowing job these fellows have done down here. I think I see a few deer too. Way down in the bottom. Nice work, huh? It's good work. Keeps people employed. Oh, I never told you why they closed this off. I just told you that they closed it off during 9/11 because somebody had it in their head that during that time the terrorists would come up here in great big tanker trucks, park it along this road, and run hoses down into the reservoir with some kind of toxicant. So, yeah, okay, like nobody's gonna notice that. And yeah, just a big convoy of tanker trucks full of poison to kill everybody in New York City. So they kept it closed, and I guess now, you know, you would have to, if you wanted to do something like that, you would have to come up here with like 5-gallon buckets and maybe like a bunch of people. Regardless, that's the reason why. Oh, and you can fish here. You just have to go through the New York State DEC to get a permit to leave your boat on the shore. You chain it to a tree. You better, because somebody else will take it. And there are giant lake trout in here. Probably, how big are they? Probably from this connection to maybe about right here. That's a pretty big fish. I've seen them in the other causeway that's on the other side where you used to be able to park and look down. You would see them schooling. They were gigantic. I mean, you could almost step on their backs and ride them like porpoises. They were so big. All right, I'm going to get off here because I don't know if that's an electrically charged storm or not, and I don't want to take any chances. All right, folks.